Hello and welcome to Badminton Weekly with me, Jasmine Lim. The Hilo Open completes the final European leg of the HSBC BWF World Tour this season, where Jonathan Christie was the big winner, collecting 2 titles out of 3 events played. Before we get to the world number 5, let's turn our attention to the highly anticipated women's singles match between defending champion Mia Blichfeld and Putri Kusumawardhani. Both players were aiming for career-first Super 500 title, and Kirsty Gilmer believes this matchup was a fitting finale at the Hilo Open.
Yeah, I think this final at Hilos is a well-deserved and it's a good matchup for both players. Top 2 seeds, it's where they're supposed to be. And I think they've had not smooth journeys to the final, but fairly solid. They've got the job done. It's an interesting final because I think their game styles are quite similar. They both take some risks, so I think this is a really interesting final at the Hilo Open this year. Mia's defence of her title last year, which was impressive, and that was a 300 level event, so to win it as a 500 is a massive step forward. And I know the tough year that Mia's had, and with injuries and kind of getting settled in France in a new training environment, and everything that comes with uprooting your life to move. So I think, Mia just shows such tenacity all times. I think the intensity that she brings to the court is the intensity that she lives her life by. It seems to be working for her. Mia's had a really tough year, especially with the injuries. So for her to come out of a 500 final on top and as the winner, I'm going to send her a very big congratulations message.
And an emotional Mia Blichfeld defends her Hilo Open title, and it's a Super 500 this year to boot.
I think this would be a fair reflection of Putri's season so far. She's a solid quarter-final player. She's put herself in that position many times throughout this season. But saying that, there's like a good handful of first-round exits for her as well, first and second-round exits. And she also has a world bronze medal sitting in the middle of all that. So it's been a little bit of a mixed bag season for her. But I think if she's able to put, some consistency into like a full 5 games back-to-back for her, which I think she kind of needs this season. And she's sitting 7 in the world, so that shows some consistency, and she's on the cusp of qualifying for the World Tour finals at the end of the year. It's been a strong season, not the best season. I think what we've seen is a little bit more of like settling in. She climbed the rankings fairly quickly, and she's still relatively young, and so I think this season's been a bit more of like a settling in and really getting that consistency. She has some points to defend from the previous seasons, whereas when it's your kind of first and second time round, you can only really gain points if you're putting in good performances, that is. She's a very attacking player. She takes a lot of initiative, but I think she's managed to marry that up with some smoother, more manoeuvre shots, a bit more calmness to her game, rather than like all in all the time. So I think we've seen a good settling from her, and that's why we've seen such good performances from her this season, especially being in the final of a 500 event.
Margot Lambert and Camille Ponnier became the first women's doubles pair from France to win a Super 500 title. The French duo beat Chinese Taipei's Su Yinhui and Lin Hiyun on finals day to land their first Hilo Open title. And they are not the only champions who shine in Germany.
It feels good to create history for women's double entrance. The toughest part was to stay in mentally and keep the focus even when we were leading quite a lot, and still bring the energy, because if we wouldn't have won that easily. So yeah.
I'm very happy this tournament. Yes, we played with good energy, great speed, and yes, we are very happy for bring to home this gold medal.
我觉得非常开心吧，就是前年有来过一次，也进了决赛，但很可惜没有拿到金牌。那这一次跟新搭档、跟学弟一起来，然后完成了这项任务，我觉得非常的不容易。因为我们今年也是经历了很长一段的低潮，虽然在台北公开赛有夺冠，但在之后就一直在第一轮、第二轮止步，所以这一次可以突破，我觉得对我们来讲是非常大的鼓舞。
Tom and Delphine always such strong opponents. We struggle a lot with them, and we played them last week where we won, maybe the first time in 6 years, I think. So it was a tough battle again today on the court, and they're giving everything every time. So it's always tough to get the win against them. Feels amazing. These titles are not like the everyday thing, so we really appreciate them, and we're extremely happy, and we will definitely celebrate tonight with some good food and stuff. Yeah.
I just trying to push myself because after the long 3 weeks tour in Europe, it is the last match, it is the last tournament in Europe, so I just want to enjoy it, and I just want to push myself. Of course, it's very boost my motivation, also my confidence, ability for the next tournament, the Australian Open.
It was a fantastic win for Jonathan Christie, Alexandra Boyer and Matthias Christensen at the High-Low Open. The three shuttlers had to overcome tough opponents to collect their third HSBC BWF World Tour title of the year. Despite their excellent performance in Saarbrücken, Steen Pedersen explains why their best match in the European League came from a Super 750 event.
I think one of the very best matches is the final of the Denmark Open in men's singles between Shi Yuqi, the world champion, playing his first tournament after his gold medal in Paris, and Jonathan Christie, where I was a little bit surprised to learn during the research that Jonathan Christie actually had the head-to-head advantage against Shi Yuqi. The playing conditions in Odense were a bit to the slow side, but still with some drift. These two players are built for every kind of playing conditions, and the final in Odense started out pretty much as predicted. Shi Yuqi won the first game on the good side, and Jonathan Christie won the second game on the good side. In the third game, it was always going to be a battle. An important part in Christie's game is obviously the defense, where he's able to survive a number of the attacks from especially Shi Yuqi's backhand side, where we know he likes to go cross-court with a very, very dangerous cross smash. Here in this tournament, Jonathan Christie was able to defend a lot of those shots and make Shi Yuqi run the long distance from his backhand corner to his short forehand. Obviously, in a match where the initiative is so important, there's also a lot of battle on the front court, the mid-court area, where you want to sort of try and trick your opponent into making the first shot at the net to see if you can get the initiative at the net. But Christie also very successful in terms of chasing Shi Yuqi around the court, forcing the world champion to make a lift, and then coming in with his own very, very efficient attack.
And he's done it. Jonathan Christie wins the men's singles title here in 2025.
So obviously a very good win for Jonathan Christie that sort of confirms his return to the top of world badminton, and he's going to be really interesting to follow in the next tournaments. The next match I picked is the mixed double round 16 from French Open. Jiang Jianbang and Wei Yashin. They're up against Matthias Christiansen and Alexandra Boyer. On paper, a very interesting match. They've played two close matches against each other since Matthias Christiansen came back from his suspension. The last one came a week before this match in Denmark Open. So this was a chance for the Danes to see if they could sort of turn the tide on the Chinese pair. It's also very, very important that Matthias Christiansen is dangerous and can convert his attack. At the same time, when the chance is not big, he has to play with patience, try and play the mid-court, get it below the top of the tape to force the Chinese to play from below the tape. If they play from above the tape, they are very, very dangerous, Jiang and Wei. So even though the Chinese won the first game with a brilliant attacking game, the Danes held their spirit high and were able to leverage the score at 1-1. So again, a decider that turned out to be a real thriller, where both pairs had several match points before the Danes eventually took it 29-27. In the setting points, I felt that especially Alexander Boye played magnificently from the defense and really made a difference, raising her game to almost match Wei Yashin at the front of the court. That became really, really important, and also that the Danes were able to move Zhang Jianbang in the defense, so he had to move from side to side. They had some brilliant cross-flat shots to Zhang Jianbang's backhand corner, thus making the court big for the Chinese pair. So after losing 2 tight matches, Mathias Christiansen and Alexander Boye finally got a win against Zhang and Wei, the world number ones. I think that proves that the Danes could win the biggest of tournaments after their return to the top of world badminton.
This year has been a great season for the Popov brothers. Christo Popov made history at the Yonex French Open by becoming the first Frenchman in 79 years to reach the final. Thomas Junior Popov has risen to a career-high top 13 in the men's singles world ranking. Despite their individual successes, the Popovs are not ready to abandon their partnership in men's doubles just yet.
For the moment, I think I'm kind of happy with it. I'm doing kind of well. I'm top 15, so I have my best ranking. So I mean, I cannot say that my season is bad because this is my highest and I just reached it. So for the moment, I'm only I'm going slowly, but let's say it's slowly but surely, and I'm hoping to, improve and be top 10 sooner. I think I started my year since January not so well, with a bit dropping in the ranking. I think I managed well to get back into a right pace, and with some good results, and having them in a row as well. Having a good run now is helping a lot, with also good confidence, and I hope I will continue to surf on the wave, as we say. And I think it's been a very different first half season and now another one, and I'm pretty happy to also have beaten players that I didn't beat, and going to at least quarters or semi-finals, and having a bronze medal in the European Championship combined with a gold medal in men's doubles. That was very nice. I'm pretty happy about that. There's few things like managing in between 2 matches. We hope it to be as far as possible, as we play often singles before doubles. We don't want as well to play first match because we would prefer to play a bit later, but it's a fine limit in between physical energy on court and then also rest in between those two. So I think we're well prepared now, our body, to endure those 2 draws and perform at both. The only tricky thing is to be exhausted mentally or physically, but I think we just enjoy so much to play together, and we don't want to stop for the moment. And because we are an European champion, we had the title this year, and we are nearly on our best ranking on men's double, and we are playing a lot of tight games against the best players. So we just push us to go forward and just enjoy the time we have on the court and play our best. I think that's the hardest thing ever, and I think it's different if we face, of course, first round or second round, and different if we face on final. It's very hard because you travel the world to play against your brother, so that's of course that means one of us has to go second round, but the other one is out of the tournament, so that's very sad. I think we've been lucky to not encounter ourselves very often compared to a few players that we play very often first or second round. So I think we've been really lucky to not play first round.
With the European leg done this season, the HSBC BWF World Tour returns to Asia, starting with the Victor Korea Masters in Iksan. Do join us next week as we bring you the top stories from the Super 300 event. In the meantime, stay up to date with the latest news by downloading our BWF app, Badminton for you. And as always, let us know your thoughts, comments, and questions on our Facebook and YouTube pages. See you soon!